It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of
Chris.
the team we love.
What did you do this weekend?
No, quite one for me. What did you do this weekend?
Much on. Pretty
Yeah.
quiet, actually.
Very quiet. Yeah.
Very quiet weekend.
It was very, very quiet. Peps, quite like the show. Bit quiet tonight. We're having a very chilled show tonight, aren't we, Peps? Very
No, we're not. Oh, sing it with me, listeners. Sing it with me. It's a grand old flag. It's a flying flag. I'm off key. It doesn't really matter because we are premiers, J-Dog. We are premiers of the world. Go, geez, this is what it's all about, listeners.
We sing the song.
Melbourne Football Club premiers. Who saw that coming?
Keep your eye on.
Nobody saw it coming. We didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. Stevie Wonder, he didn't see it coming. Oh, tell you what, J-Dog.
It's all happening.
It's all happening.
The Bulldogs didn't see it happening.
The Bulldogs, they did a Port Adelaide. No, they didn't do a Port Adelaide. They actually turned up for a big portion of the game. Oh my God, mate. Oh, what a cracking weekend. What a cracking day. It was amazing. I want them all. Everybody's on the chat tonight. Rambo, Rick Kafari, I'm still alive, buddy. I'm still alive. How good is this? It is amazing. It is just a magnificent time to be. Look at this. The Rude Boy. Fuck the Bullfrogs. It's as simple as that. Everybody's on tonight. I didn't say we'd do. We're going to chuck the chat up. Lee Mack, he's back, and we're going to go into all the grand final. But I have to say thank you to two very, very special people. He's one of them, and you're one of them as well too. But hey, listen, for all the people who have been living under a rock for the last 4.5 years, I'm the host of the show and very, very proud Melbourne Football Club member and reigning premiers, Christopher Pepper.
Are you reigning premiers? Is that right? I don't think
We're reigning premiers. We're reigning premiers. Mind you, I am feeling it a bit. It has been 4 days since our last premiership. It's a bit of a drought at the moment. It was absolutely ecstatic. And look, as you know, I can't do the show without the great man, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis, and it was his team that put the Bulldogs to the sword the week before in the prelim.
We pushed them.
It was the hard game that they provided for the doggies in the prelim that led to our victory. It is so exciting. Great man, how are you going? It is just, mate, I'm loving it. All the regulars are on the show tonight. Rambo Bartlett, Rambo's on here. Tori Williams is on. The Roo Boy's here. The Donk Bartlett. Everybody who I know is on the show tonight. It is going to be our biggest show of the year. Got so much to talk about, so much to get through. We're throwing the run sheet out the window.
We have no run sheet.
We don't have a run sheet for tonight. We're just talking the grand final. That is all we're talking about. Oh, it's exciting.
Peps.
Big Kev.
How does it feel,
It's exciting.
Peps, how does it feel to have now witnessed 2 Melbourne flags in your lifetime?
Oh, dodgy question. Are you talking about the 1987 night premiership?
No, Peps, that is a premiership.
That counts. There is a trophy in the cabinet for the Panasonic Cup.
And I'm pretty sure I got $1 million for that one as well.
I think we got something for that. And this one, my God, it is. Look, I don't know if your club hasn't, and it's probably a while now for you, J-Dog, but it is still numb. I'm still a little bit numb, and I reckon I've watched the replay 4 times the whole game.
Yeah.
And I've watched the last 45 minutes about 10 times because that was just electric. But I'm numb. And I know there were people crying, and I was numb, in shock.
It's
and
good.
I put up a video of the last minute of the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this last minute of this game, and you're 70-something points up, 68 at that 66 at that stage until T-Mac went and slotted another one after the siren. But it was just It was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I was just numb. I'm like, this has happened. And especially after how the game went. That was it. And can I say, credit to the Bulldogs, but God almighty was my sphincter getting a little bit tight halfway through that third quarter. It was mind-blowing stuff, and we'll get into all of it shortly. But
we will. So, Peps, Melbourne have broken the back. You've won your first recorded AFL Grand Final. Well done.
I am absolutely stunned. It was just amazing.
Just your first flag. Well done to Melbourne.
You know what the worst thing is, J-Dog?
Yes.
Is that, actually I shouldn't say the worst thing, is I lost 4 as a player, all right? And so I never got that completeness.
Uh-huh.
You know, you get mates out of it, lifelong friends. Like lots of the people joining us on the show tonight and who listen every week are from East Keilor Football Club, mates for life. But I could never understand, or I could never really experience being part of a club or community where you've won a flag. Okay, I've won flag. I've been part of East Keilor, but I haven't been. But to see this and to see what they've come from, 10 years ago, we were in the shit.
Absolutely,
we were putrid. No one wanted to. Parents were telling agents, we don't want our kids to go to Melbourne. That's how bad it was. That's how disgusting it was. And then to see them just work hard, and they didn't do it easy. Yes, they brought Jackson in. Yes, they brought Roos in. They won 2 games that year.
Yeah, and you had to also get on your knees and get carpet burn from the AFL for all the begging for money that you guys needed.
We had to do it. We had to do it.
You had to tank to get there. Like, it's all been good stuff. That's all what you need to do.
There is no easy road to success. If there was, you would have done it many years ago, Jamie.
That's why Port are so unsuccessful.
Exactly. Okay, Team Tarps, we know that. But it was just mind-blowing just to see it happen. And you go through all the stuff that's happened, and it was a cumulative effect. It was the tanking saga. And if you read all about that, geez, we screwed the pooch on that. You then have the Dean Bailey 186, and they should have got rid of the CAO and they got rid of the coach. Another complete fuck up by this club. Then you have club legends passing away. You have Troy Broadbridge passing away in the tsunami. You have Robbie Flower, Jim Steins passing, Sean White, all club legends that went way too soon, and just no success on the field. And and then you just see things starting to turn around. It goes from 2 wins with the first year with Roos to 4 years, but the percentage was climbing. Then I think it got to 7. Then we got to 2018 finals, and we were too immature when we got to that prelim. You could just see it. That's why we got blown off the park. But you could see something was there.
Yeah. 2019
was a complete letdown. That was the game where the Collingwood Thirds beat us in the last game of the year, if you remember that. 2020, we should have made finals last year, but dropped 2 games up in Cairns.
Yeah.
And then this year, I remember when I was thinking about this, we went back to the start of the year and we said, who's going to win? Who's going to make the finals? And I don't even think I tipped Melbourne. And if I did, I think I picked them to finish 8th.
Yeah.
Because I thought they didn't have a great year, but they should be able to sneak in. And to sit here 27 weeks later with the biggest smile on my face to say that my team, our team, are premiers of the world. It is, and how they did it. It was that was the thing. And so this isn't a premiership it's for all the supporters. It's for all the players. It's all the past players. It's those psychological, Charlie Keegan's written in the psychological impact that we have of, if we tank, the picks will do it all. It doesn't do it all. You have to do the hard work. And all the work done by Paul Roos, I said Peter Jackson, Choco Williams comes in this year, Uze comes in this year. I said, what's his name? Simon Goodwin will be done by the end of the Queen's birthday weekend. He'll be gone.
Yeah.
I'm putting my hand up to say I'm a complete fudge nut for getting that one wrong, because he's now a premiership coach. And regardless of what happens from now, outside of my kids being born, my wedding day, and WrestleMania 17, this is the greatest day of that was the greatest day of my life. Bar none.
It was good to see, because I think it was very clear midway through the year that the Demons were the absolute class of the field. Like they were the they were the winks of the field. The rest were just sort of playing catch up, and we sort of knew that the D's should be there, and rightly so. You got through with ease, and then I'm going to put it here. I've never seen a 45-minute period of football be as pure as that. Like I thought the Geelong game was fantastic.
Which one?
But to see you put on 100 points in 45 minutes of football versus 6 or 7 points.
Seven.
Pure. I've never seen and me, Port Adelaide, the Geelong Port Adelaide 2007 match. Not even that game was as pure as what Melbourne put in 45 minutes. That whole game was as pure as what Melbourne put into 45 minutes of football. It was amazing.
Yeah, so I'll go through my grand final thoughts in quarter by quarter, because I think and you can ask me the questions like what it was like, because it was up and down, and because you were messaging me through and another.
I gave you halftime settler.
Hold on, just chill for a second. And the great man who I've spoken about many times, Lee Mack, he's on with us tonight. He was telling me breathe, and I'm going bugger off. And I had the WhatsApp with the guys as well too. So we'll get into that shortly. But, I forgot to mention even Colin Sylvia, like even his passing as well too. It's all these bits and pieces that have all just come into fruition. And, Justin Parker he just literally wrote, best team all year. And if you actually go back and look at it, we probably were. Mm-hmm. The only thing stopping us was us being Melbourne. I think that's all you can say. It's because we were Melbourne. No one else would have picked that.
Yeah. So where do you want to start, Peps? What do you want to do on tonight's show? Do you want to just talk about the game and then throw it open to the listeners and get some of their feedbacks and thoughts?
I'd love for some feedback from. So everybody who's joining us live tonight, jump into the chat, give us your thoughts on the grand final and then just your insights, everything to do with it. So I'm going to go through a few things non-game related, and then we'll get into it. But we want your part of it as well, and we'll throw them up and I'll read them out as we go through it as well too. But so one of the things that I wanted to really highlight first of all was I've been totally against a nighttime grand final, okay? And I'm still that way. But a twilight one, I reckon there's something to that. It just had a bit of night. It started in the day and it transitioned into the nighttime. It felt too long though because it was coming from Perth. But I reckon a 5 o'clock or 5:10 start would be pretty Mickey Mouse. So I wouldn't mind that if it had to go down that route. I don't want a night one. You're seeing 3 TV screens by the time it starts because you're that cut, right? But I would definitely take a twilight one.
All right. Yep. Do you want to go before the games? Let's talk about entertainment, Peps. We'll quickly talk about entertainment. Yep. What did you think of the entertainment for the show?
I'm not too sure, mate. Let's be honest. Entertainment's entertainment. Let's put it in perspective. Jenny Yak, Lee Mack's amazing sister, has just come out and said it was the best pre-game entertainment in years, and I probably have to agree with that. And if you think about it, they didn't really have many options because they had to go with who was in Perth.
Yeah.
So I think for who they got, for who they got in such a quick time frame, I thought it was actually pretty good. Yeah. Birds of Tokyo, I'm not too sure what was wrong with your singing, but it sounded a little bit like this. I don't know if that's just them or there was something wrong with it. But it was no meatloaf.
Traditionally, the pre-grand final entertainment's always been pretty ropey anyway. It hasn't always been great. Yep. I think I got sucked into thinking that Colin Hayes was actually going to be there singing. I didn't think I'm going to get a bloody ensemble sounding like a Telstra ad. I thought I'm actually going to get something a bit more live, not just...
Had a small problem with good old Colin. He's in the US.
Yeah. I think I got sucked in. I thought Colin Hayes, I thought that was the show.
Yeah. That was all it. So I had to sort of try and figure out what I'm going to do. So I ended up decorating inside the house. Mm-hmm. Also did a pre-game video. If anybody's jumped onto our Facebook page, you'll see my pre-game video. Absolutely hilarious, directed by my beautiful wife and co-starring Turbo and Nitro, my kids. And we did that and then just had to throw down a few burbs to sort of calm the nerves. The nerves weren't too bad. I was quietly confident But more importantly, and just waited for the game to start, and then there we go. Game starts, and
All right,
you're actually
first quarter.
watching a grand final. Yeah,
First quarter. Tell me how you're feeling.
first quarter, I was actually pretty good. Yep. Baker Boy, I don't even know who Baker Boy is. Jazz, I'm 45, turning 46. I don't know who Baker Boy is. He must make a mean tiger loaf. That's all I can say. But outside of that, got no idea. But his fashion sense, not too good at all. Okay, first quarter. Let's go and have a look at what I said from the first quarter side of things. So from the first quarter, I looked at it and went, we're on here. Like, we were on. You can always tell with the Melbourne game in the first, I reckon, 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If they're hitting the packs, if they're hitting the contest hard, they're getting some spread and they're not fumbling, you're in for a show. That was my biggest concern. I said that to you last week is, this whole, are they going to be ready? Are they going to be good? Are they going to be after that one game in 28 days bullshit that they paraded? Didn't they get that completely wrong, you so-called experts? All right. So, So what's happened is that they got off to an absolutely cracking start. That first turn goal by Petrarca, absolutely gorgeous. Loved it. And they just, like I said, the first 4 goals that they kicked, the one that impressed me the most was, and he didn't get many positions throughout the entire day, okay, was Cozzy Pickett. You have a look at his first quarter, just his pressure. He had 26 pressure acts. Mm-hmm. Throughout the game. That is massive for the small forward. So it just goes to show, and that's the mentality that this team had taken on, where it's the collective rather than the individual. So, okay, I'm not getting the ball. I'm going to stop anyone else getting it. And the one where he pressured up against the boundary, turnover, Jackson over to Spargo to run in, it was just the epitome. They're on. They are on. And it was actually the Rourke Smith, that goal that they got down the other end was against the run of play. So I wasn't too worried about that. And so by quarter time, I'm going, this is actually pretty good. And then your messages start coming in. It's all over. Jamie, it's the first quarter. Jamie's calling it. It's all over in the first by the quarter time.
Hey, you guys looked like you were
sharp.
Getting first on.
Sharp, right?
There was no pressure coming on. You had lots of open players in field just ready to just launch it, and you had a forward structure that was working.
And what's his name? And Christian Salem's first quarter was sublime.
Yeah,
he went at something like, I think, 96% disposal efficiency for the game. He just doesn't miss, and he's just so. You look at him; he just looks so compact. Just can get out of trouble anytime. It was amazing. Then it goes into the second quarter. And this is where I went from chocolates to boiled lollies, because I don't know what happened at quarter time. Someone must have spiked the Gatorade, because you could not see a complete role reversal from what happened. And the Dogs actually, like Nicky Thiel from the Portraits, said, they actually turned up. And I was from this to this in the space of about 25 minutes. It was hard to watch.
Well, you barely touched the ball in that second quarter.
We didn't even get near it.
Yeah.
We didn't get near it. Sorry, Powerade, Lee Mack. Not Gatorade, Powerade, sponsored by Coke. And they just couldn't get near it. And there were 2 people that really stood up, and I've got a top 5 moments and I've got a bottom 5 moments, which I'll go into, which is going to be our spin the Magnus from the game. But the Bont and Treloar lit it up that quarter. They were getting run. They were getting some spread. They were flick, and they were getting the reward. You could also see that there was something wrong with Stephen May. He just looked a little bit gimp through it all. But they
came off a couple of times.
Came off, he couldn't bend over and just didn't look right. And at that stage, we're going, shit, if this goes, we're going to be in some serious trouble. And they just kept lumping it on. And I think they kicked 7 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So you go from the first quarter where Melbourne dominated and could have been 7 goals up if they'd kicked straight. And by the way, they didn't kick badly. It was just hit the post here or a bit a shave to the right, not massive misses. To go down by that amount into half time, it makes you start to think, oh shit, we're gone, Jamie.
And it was the repeat 50s as well, wasn't it? Like the Doggies they were scoring, yes, they were scoring 7 goals, but they were also getting a lot of that lock in the forward 50, which they love.
They went from, they kicked 6 goals or 6-3 that quarter to our 1 goal 9. And I thought, here we go, here's Melbourne. Either not going to be kicking a goal or we're not going to kick any at all, or we're not going to kick more than 1. And that's what they did. They just the repeat entries, bang after bang after bang. And so at halftime, you're sending the message going, "Oh, game on," and I'm going, "Yeah, thanks, buddy." So they go in 8 points up.
Tell the truth. I sent you the Cats versus Richmond halftime score from last year's grand final and said, it's not over.
Yep.
Look what happened.
And Lee Mack was sending me messages, breathe.
Yep.
Breathe. And I'm going, I can't, it's all over. I'm sending messages to the WhatsApp group saying, it's all over. It's all over. But I was going to watch the game. I wasn't going to crack the shits. I was just starting to feel disappointed, I'll be honest, because of the start that we got. All right. We get into the third quarter. And at the 12-minute mark of the quarter, the Doggies are up by 4 and a bit goals, and we're going, oh.
I didn't text you. I didn't know how to text. I didn't know how to text you at that point.
And hold on, I have to. And massive, my best mate and his amazing wife, Prue and Chris, are sending me messages. They've just reminded me now. Be positive, Peps. They gave me a call. How you feeling? I'm going, I want a bourbon. I want a bourbon. Because I wasn't feeling too flash. And then they get 2 goals. They get the Jason Johannesson absolute cracking mark in the square. And then they also then get the Bont gets his third. And I'm going, oh, shit, the Bont's going to tear us a new one. I could see it coming. He did it against us in round 21. He's going to do it again. Well, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
At the 16-minute mark of the third quarter, it took one piece of play, and it was literally the switch. It was, I think, it was a boundary throw-in. Pardon?
The Cassowary kicked the goal, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about, Cassowary? The fridge magnet. Yeah,
he looks like a cassowary. Every time I see him with his hair like all like that, he looks like a cassowary.
Some of us are not botanists or bird lovers.
Or hair, just in general.
Exactly. And so then what happened was that ball goes in. Viney sort of breaks it up. He doesn't get possession, but he's just unable to break up the contest for the ball to juggle forward. Harms gets it, spurts towards the 50, and my God, the best fat side kick I think he's done in his entire season so far. Hits good old Fritch Magnet, lace out, because that's how he wants his grand final day football. And he gets the first one. Rightio. Goes back into the centre. Ball goes down. Petrarca out of the middle, bangs it forward. McDonald, I think, goes up. Also, Ben Brown goes up. Fritz goes up. Fritz out the back, Roves, goal. Oh, my God, here we go. Hold on. Starting to get it. The heart's starting to pump a little bit easier now. All right, that happens. Okay, so we're into that. And we're going, all right. And my wife's saying, Chris, show faith in your team. Show faith in your team. I said, I'm back from Melbourne. It's not very, we cannot. Okay, it just doesn't feel good. So he goes back to back, literally within the space of a minute. Then, out of the centre again, Petrarca, bang, big double, and boom, straight through the big sticks. It's a draw. How the hell, in the space of a couple of moments, has it gone to a draw?
Within 4 minutes.
Literally 4 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a bit of play, nothing much happens, and then you get to a point where there's a bit of a juggle up. There's a free kick given to Steph Martin in the back line.
Yeah.
Handball to Caleb Daniel. Caleb Daniel gets another cheap dog. Handball out the back. Cheap dog, whatever it is. Right? Gets one out the back, absolutely sprays the kick. Jake Bowie ends up getting the ball and does this beautiful little chip over the top. I'm thinking, where's this going to go? And then you see Angus Brayshaw, the helmeted one, just jumps out, takes it. Bloody brave mark, because he didn't actually see what was coming his other way, but mind you, it was the Bulldogs. They were just soft anyway. He goes back and slots it. We're up. The ball goes back to the centre. We get a rush behind. And then, do you remember the movie Gone in 60 Seconds?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would describe what happened to the Bulldogs in that last minute of the quarter. Petrarca channeled his idol, Christopher Petrarca, dribble kick along the boundary, Descartes style, rolls it in, bang. All right, we go up again. Ball goes to the centre. Bang, handball out. Jackson over to Oliver. over the top to Sparrow. Sparrow on a dime, who played an absolute corker game. He bangs it through for a goal. We're going nuts. I'm going, this can't be real. This can't be real. You're sending messages going, how good is this? Lee Mack's going, breathe. Goes back to the centre. Once again, Jackson out of the middle, over to Clayton Oliver. My good, the ugliest looking redhead playing AFL since Cameron Ling, but the best footballer since goodness knows however. And he goes through it. I'm champagne. I'm like, what the, excuse my language, what the fuck has just happened? What has just happened? This is nuts. We were 3 goals down halfway through that quarter at one stage.
Yeah,
and we end up finishing the quarter at 30-odd points in front, 24 in front or something.
So I want to just give you the stats in a number there, Peps. Within a 17-minute period, you kicked 7-1, so 49 points you put on. You scored that from 10 forward 50 entries. You kicked 7 goals out of 10 forward 50 entries. Unbelievable turnaround in a 17-minute period. Astonishing. I was astonished. And I think the game, everyone just goes like, everyone who's sitting on the couch, and I will count myself, and I know that the Porches podcast guys that I chat to a little bit about it, with Nicky there, and he's like, this is, if that was Port playing, this would be 150 plus. Every team in the AFL was like, thank fuck we are not playing tonight, because we'd be blown off. We'd be setting records everywhere.
Jamie, it was brutal.
It was amazing.
It was brutal, like, to see that. And I said, and this is what I wanted to highlight, and I'll get into my top 5 and bottom 5 very, very shortly. And then, my goodness, that last quarter, we've come out and we've just smashed on 9 goals.
Can I just read you the goals?
Oh, can you just read them? Read them through me. When you're reading through me, I'll just channel them in my mind. Go for it. First minute
of the fourth quarter, goal Ben Brown. Third minute.
Can I just say also, a cracking kick by Sparrow across the body.
Was.
Hit him, great contested mark.
3-minute mark of the fourth quarter, goal to Bailey Fritsch. He's now in 5 goals.
Fritchie! Yep.
Petrarca got up behind at 4-minute mark. Next goal was at the 8-minute mark by Alex Neil-Bullen.
Yeah, Nibbler. Had a great season, yep.
11 minutes down, Ed Langdon kicks a goal.
Can I say, if you can see
got a score here.
Can I say, go back and watch the footage of that goal. He actually is the one who delivers it out of the back pocket. I think out to Salem or Bowie, and then is the one actually getting the ball up the other end. His end-to-end work, sublime. As a wingman, no one better, I believe. No one better.
18.5-minute mark of the quarter, Tom McDonald gets in on the action.
With an absolute barnstorming caterpillar killer from Petrarca again.
And then Adam Cholo kicks the only goal for the Bulldogs in that second half.
Yep.
Sorry, not second half, in that last 45 minutes. 22-minute mark, Salem gets on the board. 24-minute mark, Jackson gets on the board.
The cap, just like the froth on the
29-minute mark.
Yep.
Bailey Fritsch kicks his 6th.
Fritchie!
At the 33-minute mark, Tom McDonald kicks another one to get 2 now.
Yeah.
And then into the quarter, and at the end, what are we looking at here? 70, 80 points, something like that.
Can I say something? You've actually missed the one that Luke Jackson kicked as well.
Oh, sorry, I did.
It was party time. Halfway through that quarter, I'm going, I think we've won. I think we've won. And it was just nuts. And then I just got my wife. I said, hun, can you just record us watching the last minute? And it was amazing. Just because you can't be there with your family. I was there with obviously the immediate family, but mum, dad, my brother, everybody else, the mates. I would have had all. If I wasn't going to go, I would have been going with the mates. Or the great man Lee Mack would have taken me as his guest to the footy.
The thing is, the meme that comes to mind, and we all know it, is the Simpsons one where it's like, stop it, he's already dead. Like at 3/4 time, Peps, you were miles ahead of the Bulldogs. Everyone can see the avalanche coming, but instead of Melbourne just backing off a quarter for a little bit, no. This is the grand final. Let's bang on 9 more goals in the last quarter just to really cement the spot and really to bury any demons, pardon the pun there, that we had. Because, an incredible 45 minutes of football.
Now, I just want to quickly shout something out. One of our loyal viewers, Gary McKenzie, Lee Mack's dad, has just written a lovely little comment on the chat, and I'm just going to share it with you all. It's just this. He says, I think I'm going to vomit. Okay. Now, Gary, don't be like that, okay? Don't be like that. There's no need. Just remember, I've had to listen to your son talk about the Hawks for goodness knows how many years, okay? I've choked on enough vomit to last a lifetime. So you can choke on it for a good 10-minute period, okay? Just give us 10 minutes. I've had 57 years of heartbreak. So it's all good. But literally, you know how this is the easiest way I could describe.
Do you know what, Pep? Sorry. Do you know why I love this show?
Why is that?
Because we've got your old man, we've got your brother gets on there, we've got family members of other family members who are part of the show, we've got now another father of someone who's part of the show every week. It's just such a little community. It's the best.
It is. And if there's only one way I can describe what happened to everybody who watched the game on Saturday, that last 45 minutes.
Right in front of me. Right in front of me.
It happened right in front of me. How good was it? Thanks, Jen. I will ignore them. I won't ignore your brother. But Lee Mack had a good little win. He had the D's at 71 points plus. So it was absolutely gorgeous. But, yeah, it was amazing, J-Dog. It was amazing. So from that, do you mind if I then go and spin the magnets?
Let's do it, Paint. Let's do it.
Let's spin the magnets. All righty. I want to start off with the negative first. I want to get a bit of now – we love this guy. The number played beautifully on the weekend, and we're talking about Ron, so we're going to bring him out just for today, but it's not a real true reflection.
Last time of the year, Pep.
Last one for the year, or for tonight anyway. Okay, so my bottom five, or my who's getting dragged this week? Okay, so the first one, I want to thank St Kilda. I want to thank St Kilda for passing on Christian Petrarca and Angus Brayshaw and by picking up the concussion man himself. What was his name? I've gone blank again. That's it. Nobody remembers who it was. He went number one. Keep getting Paddy McCartan.
Paddy McCartan, okay.
Thank you very much for taking Paddy McCartan.
Oh, no, I know.
And
this is where it's going to end up. I can see it already.
And thank you very much, North Melbourne, for Ben Brown. How is it? Couldn't get a game in the bottom team in the AFL. Comes over the team and the Veganator picks up a premiership medal. Absolutely sensational. Buzz is going to vomit now. I'm loving it.
So,
second,
are you going to do a drive by Port Adelaide? I thought that was where you were going.
What for?
Bailey Fritsch, the pick that got you Bailey Fritsch, you picked up with.
No, I know. So yeah, I don't mind that because I like Jack Watts. Okay, it was just one of those things that worked out. But, we didn't use Fritchie right when he first came to the club. We tried to play him on a wing. We tried to play him down back. Who would have thought he would have kicked virtually more goals than Harry Mackay this year? Hello. Right. Number 4, Western Bulldogs. Way too many buses. I think they went for a ride on Mark Neal's reality bus. Okay. Can I just throw something out to you?
Sure.
Aaron Norton, Cody Waitman, Mitch Hannon, Easton Wood. Totaled 36 possessions for the game. Christian Petrarca had 39. And that was the forward line, if you remember from our chat on the Thursday night. That was the forward line that was going to give us worries.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Next one, number 3. The fact that we couldn't get the Medi sub on. Now, James Jordan didn't get onto the ground.
Yes, totally.
That sucked. They tried to get him on, but
did they?
They couldn't. They tried.
They couldn't just drag May off?
Well, because it's actually got to be medically signed off.
Well, it came out that he had a 5 centimetre tear in his hamstring.
Yeah. So James Hards came off, said he had severe cramp. And unfortunately, that one didn't go down too well. All right. So they said we couldn't get him on. But my opinion on it, it's just like an interchange player who just doesn't get on. Cameron Mooney didn't pull a stat in his game, so I don't mind that. And he played every game throughout the season. So, all right, didn't contribute much on the day, but he's done plenty throughout the season. So I have no issue with that as well. All right. The actual result, I don't think was a true reflection of the game. Because if you think about that game up until halfway through the third quarter, it was going back and forth. It was a pretty tight contest. until someone decided to put the foot to the throat and just slaughter. It was just unbelievable.
Peps, I just said about grand finals. Grand finals are always good until they aren't. Like they're rarely ever a tight game. Like they're good to a point, and then one team just goes whooshka.
But that was a different type of whooshka. That was
brutal.
whooshka. That was a big whooshka. No one saw that one coming whatsoever. And last but not least, my biggest disappointment to come out of the AFL Grand Final 2021 was the fact that Simon Goodwin didn't get to his speech.
Yes, started.
Yeah. Now, I actually heard today they had Basil Zemplis explained exactly what happened. So what had happened is that Embley, so when they did the Norm Smith, Embley was not supposed to be reading that out. That changed a number of years ago. Okay. So the announcer reads it out and they just present it. Second thing is Worsfold was supposed to just give over the coach's medal. Goodwin went up and sort of, there wasn't much of a, you're coming over for a speech? And he thought, I'll do it later sort of thing. So there was a bit of a miscommunication there. But just to hear what he would have said would have been sensational, okay?
Hey, so, one good thing.
Yep.
You can save that speech you had written and save it for your best and fairest night. There's no need to write 2 speeches now.
No, well, he's going to use it. Well, we're going for a 4-peat now, Jamie. So he can use one over the next 3 years.
Right.
Okay.
3 votes.
Say it again.
3 votes.
I could give 3 votes to every player. That's how good they were. All righty. All right, number 5, the first 2.5 quarters. Fantastic grand final football. Ebbs and flows, teams up, teams down, shifts of momentum back and forth. It was a great game.
It was.
Until, like I said, when it got to the 16-minute mark, 16 minutes and 34 seconds of the third quarter, the Demon Lanch decided to kick in. All right. The next one, number 4, the Bont and Treloar. I thought they were brilliant up until the point that the game got totaled over. They were the 2 people that got them back into the game in that second quarter. Bont, I thought, was going to tear it apart. And,
Oliver did a job on him in the second half.
Yep, and Treloar played kick 3 in the grand final, which is nothing to sneeze about. And just looked a little bit like the old Treloar. McRae wasn't doing much, I believe. Dunkley wasn't doing much. Libber couldn't get near it. He was one of those ones to be able to step his game up. So I thought both of those. And you could throw a token one in there for Caleb Daniel. But like I said, he sheepdogged a lot of his possessions and didn't really damage us too much. So
yeah,
not worried about that. Rightio. The third, Christian Petrarca. Like, my goodness, they keep saying that when he first started, there's a guy who's built for finals football. There's a guy who's built for grand finals. Is he the next Dusty Martin? Well, you couldn't ask for his best ever game to play for the Melbourne Football Club. He's come out like, I'll just whip through his stats because it was just immense, all right? 39 disposals, 3 marks, 4 tackles, no hit-outs, 9 clearances, 12 score involvements, 2 goal assists, and 896 metres gained.
Yep. And you said 8 intercept marks, didn't you?
I didn't. It wasn't 8 intercept marks as well, was there?
Mm-hmm.
Was there 8 intercept marks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, considering they've only got 9 marks in total for his game, I don't know how he's done that. Maybe intercept possessions.
I don't know. 8 intercepts.
Yep, and 26 contested possessions as well too.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I've mentioned this one earlier. It was gone in 60 seconds. It literally was gone in 60 seconds. It was Petrarca, it was Sparrow, it was Oliver, it was over at that particular stage. And my number one top 5 moments of not just the grand final, but for the entire year is not actually what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it to the great man to belt this one out.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.
If you didn't hear it, I'll do it again. It sounds so
Lastly,
good.
after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.
We're coming home, baby. It's coming home.
was
and
good.
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was my Spin the Magnets for the 2021 Grand Final. And an honourable mention, if I could give a 5.1, would be to the WA crowds, the WA ground, everything. They were sensational. It looked amazing. Like, it really did look amazing. And it was also really good. It was really good to see that I was able to give a barcode to Was a King, who's on the Eagles Nation podcast. I was able to give him my barcode. He went to the ground and he called me with 4 minutes to go in the ground, live from the ground on FaceTime, and was just showing me what was going on. And he couldn't even hear me. It was that loud in that place too. So, yeah, awesome. And you know what? It's, we've been happy to say that when we've been wrong, it was really good. I remember when Lee Mack told me this, he said, Fritsch won't do anything. He won't stand up in finals. Well, he was wrong. I thought he might be a Stephen Stretch or Gary Rowan type. No, probably more of a Gary Rowan type, I'd say, Lee. I don't think he's going to be a Stephen Stretch. Stephen Stretch played well. And it was just an awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right. So I guess out to the listeners, what sort of questions do you want to ask Peps, or you want to ask me, or you want to ask as a podcast? I guess there's a chance to sort of, we've got a few minutes here to sort of talk about some stuff. Peps, there's a streaker on the ground.
I didn't even know that.
No, neither did I. It was Peter Bowles' brother.
Who?
Peter Bowl, the Olympian, the 5K-er.
Yeah. Was he nude?
Don't think so.
Oh, that's piss weak. He goes in the bottom 5. If you're going to streak, you do it right.
Well, and also Pep's back on the Twilight Grand Final of that. I'm not prepared to write one off just yet because we haven't had a chance to do the proper Victorian AFL thing. We haven't had a chance to catch up with our friends, have a barbecue.
Yeah, true.
Get drunk, play music, and then eventually when our wives have had enough of us, send us home. Like, we haven't had a chance to do that.
They don't send us home. They drive home and say, make your own way home. That's how it works with us.
So I'm not willing to write the grand final as a nighttime thing off just yet because we haven't had a chance to do it.
Yep. So I have got something quickly, and I'm just going to introduce this guy. He's been with us for the last few weeks. We know who he is. It's good old Mr. Blunt.
Yes.
Because even after a couple of days of celebrating, the Melbourne Football Club have made some list changes. So first of all, we knew Nathan Jones was going to retire, and we went through that last week. We'll go down as one of our all-time best because he was there through all the bullshit that the club had been through. Another one who he literally got delisted, and Paul Roux said, "I want you to come back and play," was Neville Jetta, and he retired yesterday. Okay, so. Neville Jetta absolutely did them all, did himself a justice, did the club a justice. Very, very stiff not to get an All-Australian nod. When he was playing back pocket, he was probably in the best 2 or 3 back pockets in the league at that particular time. Very, very, I think, undervalued outside of the club, but everybody loved Neville, so we rapped for him. The next thing to do was they also, unfortunately, had to delist a few players. So Austin Bradkey will no longer be with us. Aaron Nitschke won't be there. He had 3 knee recos.
3 ACLs.
Three ACLs, couldn't get back. Jay Lockhart, who they picked up in their first supplementary draft a number of years ago, who I was a bit of a surprise for him to get going. And Aaron Vandenberg has been fantastic. His 2018 final series, hard as nails, just couldn't get back on the park. So many injuries, and it's just been told to maybe look somewhere else for a game too. So there's 6 people that have been let go, and on behalf of everybody from the Melbourne Football Club, thank you for everything that you've done, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavours.
Peps, whilst we're speaking at Melbourne Football Club, we'll just quickly address one thing I probably didn't add onto your 5 low points is got to feel sorry for Jaden Hunt. Just could not crack back into the team.
Nah, he was stiff. He got injured at the wrong time.
Yeah, and just couldn't crack back in.
Yeah, that injured ankle against West Coast, I think in round 20.
Yep.
Round 20. Had some surgery, missed 4 weeks, and unfortunately, a short little redhead called Jake Bowie comes in, takes his spot, plays 7 games, doesn't lose, and gets a medal around his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stiff. But he had an exceptional year off halfback where he should have been for the last couple of years. They tried to play him down forward, His run off halfback was better. His kicking was sensational this year. And the good thing is that there's plenty of he'll get his spot back next year. There won't be an issue there unless he wants to go somewhere else. So that's up to him. Yep.
All right, so let's talk about some of the trade stuff that we have heard, but we're not going to go too deep into it, Peps, because at the moment everything's just a.
It's all bullshit.
A number in the sky.
It's all bullshit.
It is all bullshit. But we do know
bullshit, mate. Bullshit. We don't know what the hell's going on with it.
No, we know a couple of things though.
Yep.
We know one. Someone is going to Collingwood from the Western Bulldogs.
Lipinski. The Lipinski file. The Lipinski file.
Exactly. But we're surprised, but we're not so surprised, are we, Peps? Because he has been in and out of the team a bit this season.
Yeah, he has. He has been in and out, but he's a good player. He's a good player. Don't know why he'd want to go to Collingwood though.
Maybe he sees something. Maybe he's doing a Ben Brown. Maybe he sees something.
Yeah, okay. Next question, Jamie. What else?
Just go through some of the questions you got here.
Oh, one other one. This one came through before we went live. I don't know if everyone gets on the Trade Whisperer on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Essendon are mega deep into Ben King from the Gold Coast Suns. He likes the direction of the club and what they're doing with their rebuild. And
who's that?
Ben King, the one from Gold Coast.
Yeah. But who's injuring?
Essendon. The Trade Whisperer has said that they've got their fingers deep into him.
I would think every club would want a forward like that into them. Really, I thought St Kilda might have been the ones that would have been still trying to fight, having the whole brother connection up there.
Yeah.
Imagine two Kings in your forward line.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Who'd be the man? You can only have one man. You can't have two men. Someone has to be Adam. Someone has to be Eve.
All right. So, Peps, back-to-back next year for Melbourne? Because you can't. I'm telling you, you can't. Because Port Adelaide have said that we're going to win the next 3 or 4 now.
3 or 4 games? No chance. Okay. All right. This question always comes up after you've won a flag. Are you a chance for back-to-back? I had a bit of a think about this.
Okay.
After the game. All right. And I went through the top 17, because obviously not us, and I thought, which teams scare me? And deep down, there weren't many. I don't think that there were many teams that were going to scare me. Like, when I looked at the way that we turned up on the weekend and what we did, no other team in the AFL can do that. But let's be honest. There's no one else who can do what we did in the space of 45 minutes. I'm sorry.
Except
Port.
In
the grand final.
Right? Except Port, yeah.
Except Port.
Thanks, Peps.
Well, you could do a doggies. I reckon Port could do a doggies. Anyway, outside of that, there were, I think, 7 players under the age of 21 who played in that grand final victory on the weekend.
Yep.
Petrarca's only 25. Oliver's only 24. Lever's only 25.
Fritsch is 22 or 3. Yep.
Heady's 20. So you've got there's definitely something there, okay? So it's not saying, yes, we're going to win, but I think that going into next season, I feel more confident going into next season than I did this season, and look what the result was.
Would you be disappointed?
If they didn't win it?
No, if they dropped out of the 8, like, would that be a disappointment for you? Would that be a massive letdown?
No, they won't drop out of the 8. I think that I think the big word, which is culture, after what happened this season, the culture in the place has completely changed from a board level, tanking, all that sort of stuff, not taking handouts from the AFL, all that sort of stuff. We've got to survive on our own 2 feet.
Yeah.
At one stage, they were predicted to make a $4 million profit until COVID kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Scary Pert then came out and said after Saturday night, they sold 2 years worth of merchandise from Saturday night.
Yeah.
And they reckon they're going to bring in another 1.5 million over.
Yeah.
Plus the boost that they're probably going to get to membership next year. So I'd love to see a dynasty.
Yeah.
Okay. Richmond did it. I think we're in a good position to do so, but I would like us to become more one of a dynasty of a club. not a minnow club anymore. I want us to be one of the bigger clubs around Melbourne. And I think we've got a massive chance to do that. Hawthorn did it with their move out to the east. Carlton, are they a big club anymore? I would say from a supporter base, maybe, but as a club, I would say no. I'd say Hawthorn are one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Collingwood, not from where they finished. Essendon, they're still there. So I think there's a bit of a shift in the momentum, okay?
Peps, I did watch.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand final week, I decided to watch Making Their Mark documentary from start to finish. And the one thing I noticed that was amazing to me was, and this goes back to your point of talking about the club and where it's positioned and that sort of board level and all that coming down, is the open channels of communication between Peggy O'Neill, right down through to, Brendan Gale, and like everyone in that whole organisation has a very open dialogue between everyone, and they all seem to have fun and love talking about football and being around football. And I guess if Melbourne can piggyback even 20% of that, it's going to be an amazing culture for the next 5 years for that club.
I think when you got someone like Choco Williams, who is a complete madman, just ranting and raving, apparently gave a massive spray at half time.
Yep.
You got Goodwin, who just doesn't raise his voice, who I thought was a complete flop. Mm-hmm. Completely surprised by how he's been able to galvanate this group. When you've got a leader like Max Gawn, who is just say, guys, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Get some maturity through the leaders. And then you've got these young guys. You can go through them. Hunt, Melksham, he might be going somewhere else. I'm just trying to think of some others as well too. Wiedemann, you can even throw like Majak, all these other guys that couldn't get a game. Bailey Laurie as well too. All these guys that couldn't get a game, they will want a piece of the pie next year. They want to take somebody's spot. That's the exciting part too. So, I'm looking forward to just seeing whatever happens. But at the moment, I'm just living in the moment of saying that my team is the premier.
Yeah, and I think
that is
take it away.
That is, and if you've been through that before, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's just awesome. I just keep getting told off by the wife to stop spending money on memorabilia.
Well, the slab will come out soon. The Melbourne beer will come out
they're not
soon.
doing a slab this year because they're sponsored by Furphy, and Furphy aren't doing it, and I'm shattered.
No slab?
I'm shattered. No slab. They're doing 57 cases of Furphy Melbourne Premier Bitter. But outside of that, so I'm a little bit peeved by that. I'd like to see slab of draft with those cans.
Premiership
maybe
shirt,
Lee Mack could send me some memorabilia Melbourne-wise. I'm tipping Coke or one of his guys could, Fort Eildon Circuit, Taylor's Hill.
The polo shirt for Christmas time? You're going to get the Premiership polo shirt?
Premiership polo shirt, Premiership jumper, Premiership thong.
Yeah.
Premiership
sticker for your car.
Sticker. I've got the bottle opener coming. I've got the footy record. The Premiership cheese board.
Is there going to be a Melbourne? Is there going to be a Melbourne like
Volvo? Jaguar are bringing out a Premiership Volvo.
Oh God.
Yep.
It'll either be a great car or a spectacular failure.
Bit like Melbourne.
Peps. Is there going to be a members thing? Maybe in the new year. Have they spoken about anything for members?
I think one of the things that they wanted to do was, and I think it's a kind of a crazy idea, but it might work, is just all the players, support people, MCG open, watch the game on the screen.
Okay.
And then just everybody on the ground watching the game on the screen with all the players and so forth, and just that'd be pretty cool being able to celebrate that, because I think that's the other thing is that we didn't have anywhere to go after the game. It probably would have been in the G.
Yeah.
But we couldn't. So it just means that we've got something to look forward to. And I can't wait on everybody who's been through a flag before. I can't wait for that first game where we get to unveil the flag. I think that's the other thing.
Where would Melbourne walk to? So like Richmond got Punt Road. Would you guys just descend on R.M. Williams stores and stuff like that? Like what does what does Melbourne do?
We go to top of Collins Street.
Yeah.
Just through the Prada and the Louis Vuitton shops.
Charcuterie boards everywhere.
Definitely.
I don't know. What do Melbourne do when they win a premiership? Where do they?
We don't actually know because it's been 57 years. Like you said, what's your grand final tradition, everybody? Well, mine was not watching Melbourne in them. Maybe next year it might be a tradition. So, like I said, the day was great. And like I said, everybody and this is the other thing, just want to shout out.
Nice one. Nice one.
Yeah.
Walk to Buller.
I walked to Buller. The other thing, I'll get onto that in a minute, Merv. I just want to say, for everybody who sent me messages, Facebook, text messages, thank you. I haven't got back to you all, and I apologise. I endeavour to do so, but there's been so many coming through, and I just want to say it means a hell of a lot. If you're listening to this, great. If you're not, then you're not going to hear it. But point is that I do appreciate every single one of them because a lot of people know that I've barracked for Melbourne for many bloody years and nothing's ever happened. You love getting stuck into me when we've been shit. So it was nice for the same people to come back to me and say, well done. And one of the guys who's on with us tonight, Merv, Timmy Madigan, an absolute superstar. Mad. You reckon I'm mad as a cut snake when it comes to Melbourne. He's worse. Grand final replay round 1. I would love that Friday night. I don't know why Carlton and Richmond get their shitty game every year. They don't deserve it. But I reckon the Friday night grand final rematch would be an absolute corker to set the real season alight.
Yep. Wayne McKenzie, premiership tradition, sack the coach. Oh dear.
We probably will, Norm Smith. There'll be the curse of Goodwin next.
All right. Peps, do we announce this week's listener sort of question-y thing, request?
Yeah, this is more of a listener request rather than a listener question. I'm going to hand this one over to you, mate.
Perfect. All right. So next week, so there's no show on Thursday this week because there's no games to review. But
I'm happy to continue talking about Melbourne's flag win if you want to join us on Thursday. I'm happy to keep going. We can actually maybe play the game and I could describe what was going on at each moment.
Talk about how you're feeling.
Oh, ups and downs.
All right, so next Tuesday is our final show of the year. So what we're requesting from all our listeners is for people who would like to get involved in the show to send us send us an interest if you're interested in joining Peps and I. We're looking at getting 3 guests additional to us 2, 3 or 4. Yep. We're still to not at that down just yet, but we're looking at sort of adding some of our listeners to the show just to talk about footy and the year and how they went. It's going to be it's the first time we've ever done something like this. So
we don't know how it's going to go.
It could be a disaster,
the 2 of us.
And it could be amazing. It could be a disaster, but we don't know. So if you are interested, we're going to put the listener question, green question up on our Facebook page. Let us know if you're interested in joining us at 8 p.m. next Tuesday for a live show. What you will need.
The link. You need to have 3 things. You need to have a microphone, headphones preferably, and a computer. If you've got lights, that's also good. Lee McKenzie, you might want to invest in some of those. We don't want a repeat of last year. And maybe I've put in a request for Big Trev to join us next week. Big Trev. I wanted him here, but he's getting a little bit excited because mum and dad are off to get premiership tattoos.
Are you joining them? Are you going to join them?
Yeah, I'm getting one.
Perfect.
I'm not getting anything stupid. They're getting a little demon. I'm just getting a nice.
You would have thought someone like Lee Mack would have organised a little bit of a side deal with Origin Energy or something to just turn the lights on his house.
Oh, I don't know. Gatorade doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately enough.
He's a secret Amish with a phone.
He's a dead set superstar. Alrighty. So that's it. That's our show. That's our last. That's our grand final review. We've got 1 show left, our season recap next year. So if you want to be part of it, shoot us a message. We'll shoot you a link. It's just going to be spitballing. We can't wait for it. It's going to be the first time that we do it. But for everybody, thank you once again. It was a great time to be a football lover. For the Bulldogs, commiserations, and to the Ds, oh, yeah. Have a great week, listeners. We'll see you next Tuesday night for our final episode of 2021. J-Dog, how do you love the Demons Grand Final victory?
I like it. Lace out.
So do I. Pump it up, big boy.
See ya, listeners. Have a good night.
It's a high flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. I'm your host, Chris Pepper, and with Jamie Wallis, we give you your footy how you want it. Peace out.